Hey guys, what's up and welcome to show 15 of Open Mic. My name is Frankie Cena and I'm your presenter, and I cannot wait to see tonight's acts. As you know, our singers are going to perform. Our priority acts are going to get feedback from the judges, but all of the singers are going to be considered by the judges to move on to the next round. If your favorite doesn't make it, make sure you vote for them. So let's get started by meeting the judges. A&R for Sony, Thames TV, and Future Music, Chris Grayston. Vocal coach and owner of Vocal Ovation, Julie Miles. And A&R at Polydor Records Universal, Leon Haynes. And our first performer is Coco Rayner.
Oh, mommy, what could I be in this world of imaginations? I could just be anything just to save you and me. So, oh my, what could I be? 'Cause I could be a walker, a runner, a doctor, a dancer, but even a singer. So, oh mama, what could I be? When I see those diamonds in the sky, and the angels looking down from above, when they just say, so what could I be? I could just be anything, just to save you and me.
Here is Chloe.
Did you really have to walk away? Couldn't you just let me stay? Knew that this would be the end of the game. Did you really have to take my place? Places, spaces, fill in the spaces. We don't want you anymore. But you didn't say sorry for all the loves, but they would never last. I'm sorry for all the hurt we have caused you in the past. I didn't mean for this to hurt. I really wanted this to work. I'm sorry, so sorry. I'm sorry, sorry. It still hurts. Now I'm all alone and life is dry. Did they really have to make me cry? Been expecting.
Our next performer is Daisy Pringle.
Ooh, there ain't no other way. Baby, I was born this way. Baby, I was born this way. Ooh, there ain't no other way. Baby, I was born. I'm on the right track. Baby, I was born.
Last in this set, we have Emily.
Just stop your crying, it's a sign of the times. We gotta get away from here. We gotta get away from here. Stop your crying, baby, it'll be alright. They told me that the end is near. We gotta get away from here. We never were, we've been here before. Why are we always stuck and running from the bullets? The bullets. We never were, we've been here before.
Thank you very much to our first set of performers. Let's see what the judges think, starting with Chris.
Well, it's great to see them all put lots of emphasis on the backgrounds, and I thought they all put some great effort in there. Our priority acts, I felt something could be said with both of them, something in common. I felt they could have just worked the gears a little bit more, working the dynamics of the song to really push through the hook and the chorus would have been benefit for both of them to do, and certainly maybe working on the vocals, and Julie might elaborate on that to really push through the message of the song. Clove, struggled a little bit to hear your background as well with the instrumental, but had some lovely lyrics there. But yeah, dynamics is the main thing I had for you. And Daisy, what a lovely spotlight like that. It felt a polished performance, but again, sometimes holding back to give us more in the chorus would have benefited both those performances, I think, to be even better. But both enjoyable, and both going to be in the mix, that's for sure.
Thank you, Chris. Julie.
Really impressive so far. Clove, really lovely backdrop. That was just, I don't know, it was very captivating seeing all those butterflies. And you have got a really striking look with your blonde hair. I really thought you had a gorgeous texture to your voice. Definitely needs a little bit more work in terms of just so that you get a little bit more of a smoother agility with it. And I would say, and this will go for Daisy as well, that just reread the lyrics that you're singing sometimes, just so that you really know where to put the emphasis in that delivery. It's so important. I think sometimes it's very easy to just use a voice as kind of as an ornament, an instrumentation, and that is great. You do need elements of that, but you also need definitely to put your point across and sell your story and really apply the right emotion with emphasis on certain words. Song I thought was great, Clove. You definitely had a clear hook there. But yeah, like Chris said, at first I kind of thought you'd started a cappella, but we could vaguely hear your backing. Definite potential though. Keep going. Daisy, really striking look. Very, very captivating, very commanding. Vocal was really great. At one point I thought, is that an original? But I was thinking, I recognise those lyrics. Of course, it was a Lady Gaga classic. Really liked that jazzy take on it. But if I'm honest, I would have loved you to have stayed in that zone rather than going into the full-on Norm version. And again, just touching on that vocal again, same with you. I really see huge potential in your voice, but just make sure that you aren't just using it for decoration, that you are actually delivering the message that you intend to. But two very, very strong contenders there. Great start.
Thank you, Julie and Leon.
Yeah, really impressive. To be honest, I was very happy with, this first segment of performers. Really can see that people are taking on board, feedback. I'm hoping that they're probably watching other shows and stuff, and it's really impressive, at a young age they are to just be presenting themselves in such a professional manner. So straight into our priority acts, starting with Clove, again, echoing what other judges have said, really great effort, you know, original song. Actually, you got basis of something really solid there. The only thing I think let you down in the performance was just the music was a little low. From what I could make out, it sounded like, you know, there was quite a good melody there, but it would have been very nice to actually hear that just a bit more louder, you know, to come, you know, complement the vocal as well. Again, backdrop, image, voice is really good, presentation was really good. You know, just keep working on those weaker areas, you know, as touched on by Julie, just in terms of the vocal, and just actually working on, you know, delivering the song in a bit more of a dynamic way. So starting and just building up to something as well. And with Daisy, again, you know, it was really refreshing, quite a minimal take on the backdrop, but actually really effective use of a spotlight as well, just making yourself out to look like a star as well. Great voice, to be honest, and well presented. And I definitely agree with Julie. I feel like that first segment of the song was really the stronger element, and it added something very fresh to it, and I wasn't so keen on that upbeat segment, so definitely something to think about further down the line.
Thank you, judges. Thank you, Leon. Our next performer is Ella.
I've been so many places in my life and time. I've sung a lot of songs, I've made some bad rhymes. I've acted out my life in stages, 10,000 people watching. We're alone now, and I'm singing this song to you. I know your image of me is what I hope to be. I treated you unkindly, but darling, can't you see? There's no one more.
Our next performer is Dan Bernard.
You tried to hold me down, so I became a soldier, built up all my strength. I'm finally taking over those nasty things are tempting me. Oh Lord, but I ain't going down. You take me for a fool, that doesn't make me foolish. Told me I was wrong, passion makes you ruthless. Manipulate, it's just too late. Oh Lord, but I ain't going down no more. If fuel enough, the flame's gonna show you what I'm made of. Breaking every chain that you put on me. You thought I wouldn't change, but I grew on ya. 'Cause I will never be what you wanted, this fire.
Here is 17-year-old Alicia.
The mirror is a scary place. They say you should be confident, but then you go ahead and try, and then realize it's all about the face and how small you wasted. Don't wanna think this way. I tried to.
Next up, we have David France.
And all this time in my head, thinking of the things that I should have said. Got me waiting, waiting, waiting. You got me waiting, waiting, waiting. All them times that I'm stuck in my bed, thinking of them things that won't leave my head. You got me waiting, waiting, waiting. You got me waiting, waiting, waiting. We all make mistakes in the process, mistakes in the process of love. But we keep on fighting, fighting for this love.
Let's see what Julie has to say.
Wow, the unders have absolutely brought it tonight, I have to say. And I think it's worth just reminding everybody that this competition, it's not just a talent show, it's not a talent competition for entertainers. It is about finding potential original artists that could be breakthrough artists in the UK and beyond. And I really do think we've had a glimpse of some potentials throughout those 10 singers. Our priorities in this round are both guys, which is nice to see. We've got some up and coming male vocalists. Dan, so the introduction to the song, the intro of that piano really did kind of grab my attention, but it just went on too long, and I just wish we'd got into your vocal much quicker. So definitely bear that in mind when you've got a limited amount of time. In terms of your vocal, something hugely commercial about your voice, and I'm sure Chris and Leon can definitely delve in a bit further on that. I'm actually quite so. You're not the finished article by any means, but there is something that there's so much potential there, and I think, and I mean this in such a good way, I think we're probably seeing about 60 or 70% of what you're actually capable of with your voice. I just feel like you kind of need to ramp it up on steroids, not literally, but it felt like a held back performance. And I just think you're the kind of singer I just would love to get my hands on, because I really do see huge potential. Very, very commercial, just what the UK is looking for, I would say, to just, to keep that talent coming up. David, now he's a singer that I know very well. I've known him since he was a very, very small lad, and he used to be very bubbly and used to do rapping with his sister and so on. Lovely to see that he's evolved. Great to see that he started songwriting, he's playing the guitar. Great to see that the vocals are coming out and not just that kind of, fun rapping. Vocals have got a lovely edge. They have definitely got a very, very commercial edge. The song has got potential. There was a definite hook there, but I just feel that at the moment David's just a bit kind of stuck. It stayed within, probably five notes in terms of vocals, and I just feel that, again, probably like Dan, there's just so much room to grow, build that range, which I think will actually then kind of underpin the songwriting, because you're probably writing within your vocal capabilities at the moment, and I just see that there's so much more. A little bit clunky on the guitar as well. We would have liked to see a bit more practice on that, I would say, because you can redo your video. But yeah, we've definitely got some huge potentials in that last 5.
Thank you, Julie. Leon.
Yeah, I mean, just to add on to what Julie was just saying there, I was literally going to open by saying, just as an overall bit of advice for all of the artists, especially this age group, is, just don't be afraid or feel any type of way about just getting in loads of practice. You don't have to necessarily have a gig or a show coming up or anything in particular happening, just to rehearse and practice your song, your lyrics, your vocal techniques, and it will give you different ideas on how to perform things in an effective way, and allow you to become much more fluent in the delivery of things, to be honest. So that's just a bit of overall advice for everyone. But starting with Dan Bernard, yeah, again, I literally put next to your name, believe in yourself more, because I feel like yeah, it was definitely a very slow start, so just try to work on, getting to a quicker, more swifter build up to where you're going. But when you did get there, I felt like it built up nicely. But again, I just did also feel like there was potentially a lack of self-belief, because there was a potential of a voice there, but it just felt like it was a bit held back in a sense. So, just amp it up a bit more, believe in yourself and just practice lows, because that will also help instill more confidence in what you're doing. And it's a similar kind of advice for David France, the other priority as well. I feel like you got a cool look, young guy, got this kind of husky tone, which is cool as well. I just feel like you need a bit more strength in the vocal, work on the technique of delivery a bit more, and also try to practice lows more on the guitar as well, just to get a bit more variety in the chord progression, because it did seem to be just jumping between maybe like 2 or 3 chords, and it did become a bit repetitive. So that's something you can definitely develop going ahead.
Thank you, Leon and Chris.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one, I think. A tough one for maybe Dan and David. But in the same respects, I'm always coming from a place where I'm just trying to be helpful. I think the fact that you lads are there are brilliant, because under 18s is such an age category where we don't see enough guys coming through. They're generally coming through later on in their teens and 20s. But there was so much potential from both of you, but there was also something a little bit amiss as well. And I'll start with Dan. Again, it's been alluded to. You set the effective mood brilliantly. I felt then there was a lack of bit of connection between you and the audience, which you kind of maybe missed a trick over there. You need to engage with us, and us being the audience is at the other end of the camera. And unlike Julie, I wasn't too overly sold that it was the right key for you. I felt that at times I did feel there was something quite exciting, and other times I thought, ooh, is this the best key for you? So look, reflect on that. It's maybe a consideration. If no one else ever says it to you again, just ignore me by all means. But I just felt that maybe there was if you're writing songs for yourself, to find the right key is really important to really get across. David, in a similar vein, as soon as you came on, I was thinking, oh, cool. We've seen a lot of you in the competition over the years, and that is fantastic. It didn't feel like anything different to me. It felt like almost watching the last time I saw you. And so as soon as obviously Julie said it, feels you're a little bit stuck. I have to agree a little bit. And I think the main thing, and this crossover to what Leon said, is that the song structure, it just doesn't seem to go anywhere. You set off at a level, and really with song structure, you need to start us off somewhere and take us on a journey. It needs to go through the structure of a verse, a bridge, a chorus, or whatever it is. And at the moment, there's just some work that needs to be done there. But there's potential with both you guys. Don't forget that. But you can have a quantum leap if this breaks through for you, and suddenly your songwriting just goes up a notch, and we see a real difference. So don't be disheartened in any shape or form, because you're doing great. But I think they're both valid points from my side.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, judges. Some various different opinions. But in the meantime, we'll move on to our next performer, Michael Softly.
Just because I wander around the places we would go, hoping that I'd run into you one last time. Just because I never took your picture off my phone, doesn't mean that you're still on my mind. Just because I accidentally slipped and said your name, when I hear our song it makes me insecure. Just because I know I'll never ever be the same, doesn't mean I love you anymore. And am I lying to myself again when I say you're not the best I've ever had? And am I lying to myself?
Here is James Williams.
I did my best to notice when the call came down the line, up to the platform of surrender. I was brought, but I was kind. Sometimes I get nervous see an open door. Close your eyes, clear your heart. Cut the cord. Are we human? Or are we dancer? My sign is vital. My hands are cold. And I'm on my knees looking for the answer.
Next up, Alice.
You shut me down, you let it control. You speak to me like I'm a child. Try to hold it down, I know deep inside I can shake it off and you feel threatened by me. I try to play nice, but don't kill my vibe. Don't break my stride. You think it's so important to me, don't you? But I wanted you to know that you don't belong here. You think it's so important to me, don't you? Don't kill my vibe.
Our next performer is Shannon.
Clock strikes upon the hour, and the sun begins to fade. It's been enough time to figure out how to chase my blues away. I've done right up to now. It's the light of day that shows me how. So when the night falls, my loneliness calls. I wanna dance with somebody. I wanna feel the heat with somebody. I wanna dance with somebody. With somebody who loves me. I wanna dance with somebody.
Here is Tasha the Saint.
Yeah, life isn't what it seems to be. Used to be broken inside, but Jesus fixed them perfect to me. Once you're born again, you'll never feel the same way, trust me. On top of that, dealing with the fact that enemy will still try to attack. Yeah, I'm a Christian, I love Jesus Christ, yeah, I meant that. Say you're Christian, the world says don't do this, don't do that. So what, I may sit, never said I was perfect. Guess it's hard nowadays for anyone to be a role model, as everyone steps. I'm just trying to please the Lord, but somehow I'm always paying out to be the villain. But if I hand you my silhouettes, girl, your feet kept fitting. Praise and worship should be all days, not just on Sundays. Prayer of our season, always. My life is like runways. If I don't stand for the Lord, people wouldn't take their ways. Legit, the enemy's out to play. Legit, don't let enemy have a word to say. Can I be honest? Used to be that girl that feels brokenness. Used to be that girl that felt worthless. So
Thank you to our first 5 performers in the over 18 category. Let's see what our judges have to say, starting with Leon.
Yeah, interesting selection of performers for, this new bunch of acts. Always commend everyone for, making the attempt to put themselves forward in these competitions. I'll jump straight into, our only priority artist in that section, which was Alice. Whilst I felt like you had, a nice tone to your voice, there's definitely further work needed at the higher end of the register, basically. As you progressed through the song, you feel it almost, that your voice was slightly struggling a bit just to kind of deliver those notes at the higher end in an effective way. So you definitely, could do with, just some kind of, even if you just watched some few online videos just in terms of like vocal technique and, maybe practice your runs on a daily basis, just learn what, the scales are and just keep practicing those to train your vocal muscle. And that's the thing to remember, it's a muscle that needs daily work. And overall, I would say that the vocal just needed a bit more warmth in the delivery. You know, I felt like it could have done with a bit more of a silky tone, but there's something there to work on anyway. So you definitely, you know, just need to just practice a lot more, and there's something to build on. And I guess just out of the other selection, Tasha the Saint, you know, interesting take on what you're doing. You know, more like in terms of like religious related rap, and you know, it's always positive to see, you know, people trying different things. And I guess for me, you definitely need some work just in terms of, you know, the way of piecing together the flows and lyrics and the delivery of the songs, definitely. But there is an area where it reminded me of someone like Mike Skinner, who does this kind of offbeat rap to beats. But I think with you, you need to be a bit more intentional with it, you know, so act with intent, that play with the track and make it sound like it was on purpose, that you're actually trying to flow off of the beat. Otherwise it can come across as, you know, there's a struggle with the timing as well. So good job overall.
Thank you, Leon. Chris?
I think in this group in general, I can aim the same to all of the group. But obviously, I'm going to aim it at Alice, but a few of this group could also take note as well. I'd really like your tone, Alice, but I think on the whole, this group just didn't give enough visually. And when I mean that visually, they didn't tell the story. They weren't connecting me to the emotion of the song. And you've just got to express it more, and you've got to give us real purpose to convey that message. And I think at the ages, and we see this when we suddenly go into the over 18s, it's so important for you. You need to learn your stagecraft. And I think Leon said it earlier, you know, practice and practice and practice. But for me, that's what was missing. There was just something visually just not there, and it made me feel unconnected to the message of the song. So work on that, you know, because you've got a lovely tone.
Thank you, Chris. Julie?
So this is always the time that we are looking for people who could be just ready to actually step right into a studio, into a record label or whatever. As I said with the previous age group, we are looking for the next big UK artist potentially. And you know, at this stage, particularly for the overs, we do need to see some evidence that there's songwriting going on, or at the very least that there's super clever creative covers. So I think we were probably struggling a little bit because, you know, the originality, if there is originality there, it does need to be marketable as well. Our priority, Alice, I think, you know, a lot's been said. Leon said that he felt that she needed more kind of silkiness to her voice. I actually wrote that her voice is very crisp and precise. And so, yeah, completely the opposite of being kind of silky smooth. So, you know, I actually thought that was a good thing, that crisp precision. You know, some of those high notes just really rang out. Very sweet tone, quite a quirky kind of original tone. But going back to the point about originality, you know, Alice, you sang a cover completely as it was originally done by Sigrid, but you know, it kind of lacked. It would have been nice if you just used a backing track, maybe even an acoustic one, and changed it up a little bit. But there's, you know, there's potential there. If this is your first competition, then, you know, well done for putting a foot through the door. But we need more if you were going to be considered to be the next UK's artist. However, I have to say, you look like you were in the most divine place. So wherever you are, good for you.
Thank you, Julie. Our next performer is Kwande Theory.
Come on, baby girl, let me see how you work it. I want to see how time feels like for you. Next level up, let's see how you go. I want to see what's going on for you today. Baby girl, let's go. Yeah, let's go, right time for a ride out, you're gonna be having fun. Today you can remember the best journey and know you're gonna be doing one. And don't worry about them niggas who always be toughing up and attacking. I don't really care, I'm never lacking, I'm always packing. What we get to shorty, aim it, pop, lean it, cock it back. Yeah, and then I move it. You wanna know how it's feeling Too many man them wanna start beefing. Let me say one thing, we just dodge it like a leaf. When I come in like a ninja, you better know I can beat up. I'm rock like the lead, and I know what I'm doing. So when I mislead, you better know I'm a star like Game of Thrones. Call me a Peter Baelish. I throw a lot of shit cause I know it's last shit. I know I got a smitzer for a weapon. And niggas...
Our next performer is Alice.
When I want you, you don't want me. When I step back, you do. When I walk away, you give me that look that you do. Oh, I don't know what to do, my dear. I don't want you, but I want you to want me again, so I can get some of that good feeling. No, I don't know where we're going from here. You come round here again with that.
Give it up for Amy.
You're like an old tune, I just keep humming along, but for the life of me, I can't remember the song. It's driving me insane, engraved in my brain, playing on a reminder that you're gone. So tell me, who makes the first move, darling? Please say it's you, 'cause you still care, or you wouldn't be here. You don't even live this way, so please stay. 'Cause if you don't, then we will leave. Let our story heal. Now wouldn't that be a shame to give into this game? But let's settle for less. Play this game of chess. I've captured your queen, but you've cornered my king. Now we both can't move. We're too scared. We might lose. So
here is Jordan Hayes.
My father taught of fortunes when songs were sung in heaven, sin the air, the air, the air was thin, the air was thin. And two by two we're deep in the mines, where brothers fall in enemy lines. The air, the air, the air is thin, the air is thin. Do not go forth to war and strife, where blood on poppies does abide.
Next, we have Annie Little.
20-something boys think that they got something to say. Like man needs a haircut but thinks he's gonna have his way with me. And some of my friends are having babies, while some of us are still getting blacked out hazy on a Saturday night. Ooh. My parents still lecture me when we don't agree, even though I spent 5 years out here getting this degree. My boss likes to have me take notes on his calls, even though he should promote me if he had the good sense to do it. And I know that it's not like the movies, but all that I'm saying, baby, is baby, it should be.
Our next performer is Charity.
You know I struggle sometimes, find myself rolling into your eyes. How can I find
Last up in this set is Lady Cybele.
When the sun teases me in the morning, I wonder if you watch the grass turn golden. Anyway, I've been pretending that I see you being stung by it, being forced to pledge your skin to it. Let it take you to, let it take you to when her eyes become cloudy and our knees.
Thank you to that set of performers. We head over to Chris for his feedback.
Yeah, quite a contrast in that group. There was some that I really liked. There was a few that just felt could have committed a little bit more to the performance and need to really remember to connect to us. There was a lot of, for want of a better word, framing that you weren't even looking at the camera, and it was sort of felt a bit disconnected. In terms of Kwande, hopefully I said your name right. The framing, it felt really close, and it's like, you know, trying to get a bit of perspective, looking back at some of the other people's, especially actually the under 18s in this show have been really cool. I think that it's worth considering working with a vocal coach. I think could really help you with your pitch and your dynamics, and you know, that would really sort of push through and give you a little bit more crisp to your delivery, I think.
Thank you, Chris. Julie.
Yeah, I totally agree with Chris. I do wish, I wish the acts would just remember that the whole point of this video is that it's giving us a real live feel to the performance. It's giving a connected feel to the performance. It's leaving a mark on us, you know, just kind of leaving something memorable. So I did feel like, you know, a lot of that felt a bit like a run through. It was like, okay, this is what I'll probably do when I video it properly. So just, yeah, you know, you need to reach out, connect with us, connect with that lens. Priority, Kwande. Yeah, I would just say, you know, exactly the same to you as I would to any vocalist. That, and I think, you know, I said this earlier in the show about looking at your lyrics. And I think probably underlining, just, you know, in your case, looking at your lyrics, underlining the phrases, the words, the phrases where you really want that emphasis. Because again, it kind of felt like you were marking through, creating a little bit of a kind of blueprint for to get all the words right. And then you needed the next stage, which would be to actually deliver with meaning. We needed inflection, we needed, you know, a bit more rhythm and so on. We needed that, you know, intonation, because even though you're rapping, there's a huge amount of intonation required in rapping to really, really drive that message. So I would say a good maybe starting attempt, but please listen to your feedback if you're really hoping to develop. But again, very, very interesting group of artists.
Thank you, Julie. Leon.
Yeah, I mean, for me, just speaking on Kwande Theory is a good effort, I guess, but, you know, you definitely need work. It needs more work, and actually, you know, we need to see that you care, you know, that you care about what you're doing, that we need to see the passion and the belief in what you're doing, because I guess based on that audition footage, it came across as actually you're not so confident in yourself, so you're not going to put so much effort in, because if it doesn't go right, actually you didn't do your best anyway, so it's cool. But if it does, you know, and actually you need to, you know, flip that on its head rehearse loads, work out, you know, what the key punchlines are, and just work on the delivery, and actually just remember that it's a performance. Even though it's a video, you know, us online and doing it via video, it's still a performance, you know, so you need to make sure that the diction's correct, that you're projecting the voice, you know, emphasizing the words, and that you're bringing some kind of a persona. Like, what is the story that you're telling us in this song? What is it about? But yeah, otherwise, hit back to the drawing board, I would say.
Thank you, Leon. We now go to our last set of performers, starting with David Morrell. Here is Ella.
Stars are nice, they make my nights lighter as we sit upon this roof, looking for Mars and the truth. I take out my telescope hoping it would maybe help me cope with the misaligning stars in my life. As I stand here waiting, wishing, wanting to take off and go stopping, start the countdown 3.
Our next performer is Clara.
Everything you've ever said to me, it's been driving me crazy. But have you even thought of me lately? I know I said we could be friends, but now that we've ended, let's stop letting pretend. Like when you said you wouldn't mess with my head, now we can be friends. Best that we end.
Next up, we have Corinne.
Baby, tell me where you want me. Break it all down for me, 'cause I can't walk on alone. Oh, I'm hurting, only 1 second from holding, trying not to keep myself falling forward into your arms. Ooh, I can't do this. I need answers. 1 second of your time, boy, is all enough for me. And I'll spend my whole life bringing you to life, wondering where you are, walking down.
2 performers left. This is Ella.
You tell me to stop, but I keep on going. Tell me to stop, but I keep on going. Tell me
me to stop, but I keep on going, keep on, keep on. You'll never stop this flame. I will never let you go. Well, who am I to say? Maybe by now you should know. You got you somebody calling, you think you're somebody, don't you? I think you're scared of keeping somebody close. You'll never stop this flame. I will never let you go. Wasn't it enough, or did I move too far? It's all too much. I think I must be mad to give you everything I had, everything I had, everything, everything, but it still went bad. You tell me to stop, but I keep on going. Tell me to stop, but I keep on.
Our last performer is Ukulele Box Box.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, there you have it, show 15. Let's see what our judges think, starting with Julie.
So, yeah, what a way to end at it's ages since Bruno Mars has done anything, isn't it? So, people. This, I really want to just emphasize. When you start recording yourself and you press play, you should be recording yourself on your home stage. And I know we keep banging on about this, but you know, some real good potential here. But we've got like trainers in the background, bags of washing, we've got punch bags or whatever in the corner, and I just think you wouldn't drag a load of rubbish onto the stage with you. So just please look back at videos and just please understand that this is your stage. You should be, you should be staging it. Anyway, rant over. We had a couple of priority acts. Ella, just wanted to, brought me back down to a happy place now because you had such a lovely energy in your voice. Really nice to hear that you weren't trying to put on any, affectations on it. You were staying very, very true to your own spoken voice. And in that respect, you reminded me a little bit of Lucy Spraggan. The song, I think, probably just needed a little bit more energy in it because I could definitely hear that in your voice. But I think, on a really nice summer's day, be a festival or whatever, I think you would be a really, really great act to watch and just enjoy. Ella, yeah. So Ella, so visually, really, really attractive, very, very striking. You're very, very pop in some respects. You picked a pop song. However, I did hear hints of MT in it, musical theatre, which didn't quite gel together. So I think decide whether you're going to be pop or whether you're going to be MT and try to really, really stay in that lane. And when you do decide, obviously if it's MT, then you're going to be acting parts. If it's going to be pop, you need to work on originals because we just heard, we've been saying this all the way through. We're looking for originality, but we heard, a reasonable reproduction of a well-known pop song. So it's probably not enough for me to actually give you really, really high marks, but we do see, well, I'll speak for myself, I do see potential there.
Thank you. Julie, Leon.
Yeah, you know, it was a good selection of artists for this final segment. Me and Ella Bouvard. I could definitely hear you're an accomplished guitarist. You know, you sound really skillful, and it's quite refreshing as well, because a lot of the time we hear tons of, you know, people that I guess need a bit more work, but you know, you sound really good and fluent in that. And I really liked your vocal. You sounded confident in what you was doing. I mean, I couldn't really find too many, if any, flaws, apart from, I guess it would be, you know, something to do with just the song within itself. Basically, it needed a bit more of a oomph to it, you know, to be honest. I mean, your vocal sounded really nice, just the chord progression was good, but I just needed something a bit more just to kind of, you know, draw me to it. So I guess for you, I would probably just, you know, try out some different styles of music. Well, not even styles of music, but just try out a few different songs and just find something that kind of resonates a bit more with the audience that you're performing it to as well. But, you know, I definitely agree, you know, with Julia, just in that sense of, could definitely see you in this kind of, you know, festival type vibe, more folk-based, somber tones. Yeah, you definitely got something to work on. And then with Ella, great look, you know, great voice. For me, I feel like you just need a bit more soul, you know, more energy, more passion, and especially for the song that you were singing, you know, it's definitely more of a jazzy type soulful number, and it just needed a bit more of that to come from you as a performer. You definitely got the range and the power there, but it may not have been the right song for you at this moment in time, or, you know, if you really, you're passionate about that song, you just wanted to see a bit more of that in your body language and in the delivery of the performance.
Thank you, Leon and Chris.
Well, there was a few glimpses of brilliance there, okay, but I think that everybody in this show has room for improvement. And if I was in this competition, I would be looking at all the 14 shows before this and the ones afterwards, and I would be identifying what is it that the judges are picking out as winners. What are the things? And write them all down. Watch the shows, write them down, and I bet you'll have a common denominator for a lot of those. And I think that'd be the best thing to do. And you need to do that. That's part of your skills, part of your education into music is to do that. And I think you should do that. I would do it. Anyway, banging around how I do. In terms of Ella Bouvard, I hope you said your name right. I think Leon said it really well. It was like, you know, your guitar playing's solid, your vocals are solid, but there's no real flaws, but there wasn't really anything to make you stand out either and make you a little bit more distinctive, a little bit more punch in terms of the message that you're coming across with. And I think that, again, has been a common theme throughout this show, is that, you know, just really connecting it to us emotionally to that message. And I think a lot have been guilty of that, really capturing something. And again, from previous shows, you'll see the people that do that and the people that don't. Ella Cleary, I love the fact that you addressed the camera. You're one that actually did connect with the audience in that fashion. I think Julie's given you some great advice there. You know, you've got to go which direction. Crossover is quite difficult. And for me, the main thing is I just want to see a bit more originality. I think it's at a stage now where we need to know who you are as an artist, and I think you're getting a bit beyond doing covers, if it would be true.
Well, thank you very much, judges. It's time to find out who is moving on to the next round of open mic. Starting with the under 18 category, it's time to find out who our judges have chosen. Chris, who is your choice?
Well, the under 18s was a fantastic show, really socked it to the overs as well, showed them the way to go. And one of those that really came across as really original, had something a bit different and unique. Let's keep going with that. Let's keep developing. Daisy.
Thank you, Chris. Julie.
Yeah, totally agree. They really brought it tonight. So this choice, we're taking a bit of a leap of faith, if I'm completely honest, but we see potential. So what we need now is for you to do the same leap of faith and really bring something, peel back the layers, bring something ramped up. But Dan, congratulations, you're through to the next round.
Thank you, Julie. Leon.
Again, this lady had a effortless vocal. Again, just work on how you're performing it. I felt like, you know, sitting down kind of took something away from it, but Alicia Lang, you're through.
Thank you, Leon. And we'll stick with you for the over 18. Who is your choice?
My choice for over 18, again, another great lady, female performer, great vintage sound, look, you know, the voice was really good. So I'm really excited to see more from her further down the line. That was Charity Stowe.
Thank you, Leon. Chris?
Well, for me, a few going to feel a little bit, miffed they didn't get through. There was a few there in the shake-up. But this particular artist we see a lot of potential with, but got to be original next time round. Otherwise, that will be the end of the journey. So bring the originality, but through is Ella Cleary.
Congratulations, Ella, which means 2 choices for Julie.
So actually, with both of my choices, I would really like to see something more creative, more thought in terms of the staging, definitely, because it didn't quite match how much potential we all see in you. So well done, Corin, and well done, Kira. Really looking forward to seeing you next round.
Thank you, Julie. Congratulations to those singers. If your favorite did not move on to the next round, make sure you vote for them, and we will see you at Show 16. It has been 16 weeks of open mic auditions, and I cannot wait to see tonight's performances. As you know, our singers are going to perform, and our priority acts are going to receive feedback from the judges, who will then choose 8 to move on to the next round. If your favorite does not make it, make sure you vote for them. In fact, voting is open right now, but you should probably wait to see the performers first. I'm your presenter, Frankie Cena. Let's get started by meeting the judges. A&R for Sony, Thames TV, and Future Music, Chris Grayston. Vocal coach and owner of Vocal Ovation, Julie Miles. And A&R at Polydor Records, Universal, Leon Haynes. Great to see you, judges. It's time to meet our first performer, and that is Freya.
Seems like it was yesterday when I saw your face. You told me how proud you were, but I walked away. If only I knew what I know today. Ooh. I would hold you in my arms. I would take the pain away. Thank you for all you've done. Forgive all your mistakes. There's nothing I wouldn't do to hear your voice again. Sometimes I wanna call you, but I know you won't be there. Oh, I'm sorry for.
Next up is Hensel Joshua.
I never slept forever, and every day it gets worse. Can I picture it any clearer, or is this just a stupid curse? Tears to lie down in my face. It's a feeling that I can't embrace. Ooh, will I replace with you, wow. Oh, we were both wrong. I'm singing this song 'cause I made a mistake. We were both wrong. I'm singing this song 'cause all we want my take. Let's drive away, sail away, walk away, run away. Let's just get out.
Here is Kim.
Look at me, look at me. I am changing, trying every way I can. I am changing, I'll be better than I am. I'm trying to find a way to understand, but I need you, I need you, I need a hand. I'm changing.
Our next performer is Leona May.
Took a trip down East Atlanta town to know if you'd be here when I returned. Sat down right where we used to go. Thought to myself, I'm happier when I'm right here alone. Packed up so quick you didn't know. Old me, she would have left a note. But I'm so sick and tired of waking up and dressing just to take it off again when I get home. And I'm doing fine, talking to myself, I just drive away. The road had never changed, so I crashed into a bridge.
Performing an original, here's 13-year-old Lewis.
She's so pretty and she's so fine. I want that girl, I want her to be mine. Your voice is music to my ears. Where you been hiding all these years? All this time and nobody love. Tell me that, Lord, up above, is this the one I've been waiting for? I need someone, I can't wait anymore. I'll give you a reason to give me a chance. You said they make it into a trance. I'll give you my life, I'll be your king, and you'll be treated like a queen. I'll give you a reason to give me a chance. You said they make it into a trance. I'll give you my life, I'll be your king, and you'll be treated like a queen. I'll give you a reason to give me a chance. You said they make it into a trance. I'll give you my life, I'll be your king, and you'll be treated like a queen. I'll give you a reason to give me a chance. You said they make it into a trance. I'll give you my life, I'll be your king.
A great set of under 18 performers. Thank you very much to all those singers. Chris, what do you think?
Well, it's good to see the guys in there looking for feedback as well. So well done on 2 counts there. Getting involved, getting in competition, that's great. Very varying for me though. Hensel, I think you've really got to work on bringing us that first impression. Your guitar work right now is not quite up to standard in terms of showcasing, and it will, but you're going to have to practice a lot more, and really that should be adding to the performance, not detracting from that. You're looking down and it's all a bit clumsy, so it's kind of really sucking the rest of it down. So work on that, really practice with the guitar work, and hopefully the rest of the levels of performance will come up rather than being dragged down by a bit of inexperience on the guitar really. In terms of Lewis, absolutely brilliant to see you writing down and using this time to really connect emotionally to what's ever going on in your life, and obviously I hope you win this girl over. As with all songwriting, it's something, a skill that you need to develop. I think you've got loads of potential there, but I want to see you writing more and more and more, really understanding yourself as a songwriter and really looking to work the dynamics and play around with it, bring something a bit different. It seems like maybe it's one of your first songs, although I've got no way of telling that, but there's potential there. So just keep developing it, keep writing it, write in a key that really suits your vocal and really kind of drive through that dynamics, which may come out when you get out of lockdown and you get to perform it live. You may see that come out a bit more prevalent in your live performing. But lots of potential there, I see, and really liked what you were doing there. Hugely impressed.
Thank you, Chris. Julie.
So yeah, we had a couple of proper vocal divas there singing real torch songs. So again, just a little reminder that we are looking for originality. I mean, those vocals were pretty hot, so maybe it'll be enough, but maybe it won't. But moving on to our two lads who were priority, definitely looking for feedback. So Hensel, really echoing what Chris said, you know, you're very much starting, I guess, as a beginner, so really well done for putting yourself out there and doing a competition like this. You're really doing exactly the right thing, but you now need to focus on you know, perfecting different areas, I think, before you try and throw them both together. So vocally, there's definitely, you know, a lot of work to do, and I think you'll only achieve that if you maybe have somebody accompany you, or you actually use backing tracks so that you can really hone in on some technique. And, you know, great that the intent's there for picking up that guitar, but it is going to take a lot more practice, and I do think that practice needs to be separate for a little while at least. But well done for, you know, putting that best foot forward and giving it a go. Lewis, you really made me smile right from the introduction, actually. But then, you know, I could see you were a young lad, maybe feeling a little bit underconfident, particularly in your love life. But wow, you absolutely popped as soon as you started playing that guitar. And you know, like I say, we don't know whether that's your first song, but it's a really strong song. It had a lot of drive, it had a lot of intent, and vocally, some, you know, hitting some really nice notes there. I would say maybe my only feedback would be to get as much punch and bounce into your voice as you were with the playing and the song. A little bit, you know, of to help the diction, but really strong. And she's got to give you a chance with that performance. She's really got to. So good luck.
Thank you, Julie. And Leon.
Yeah, great start from everyone. You know, straight into, I guess, first priority act, Hensel Joshua. You know, you've got a great voice, really nice, but definitely early stages of your career, your development, and the journey that you're going to be taking, to be honest. I would say, you know, a little bit more energy, a bit more oomph in the delivery, definitely some rough areas. And another thing to think about is pick something to focus on, I guess, because you started your song, your performance, you know, first with, you know, the one note strumming on the guitar, and then it turned into maybe like a drum beat, and the pattern, you know, your actual rhythm on the drum beat, you know, banging on the guitar wasn't as consistent as it could be. It wasn't as rhythmic as it should be. So definitely just work on the timing, and if that's something that you're looking to do, just practice that loads, because that type of performance technique that you're doing, where it's kind of semi-acoustic and using the instrument as an instrument within itself in terms of, you know, playing it in that way, it definitely takes a lot of skill and practice. And it might even be a case, maybe get some friends, or if you know someone who plays an instrument, just to do that for you, just so you can focus a bit more on the vocal performance. And then with Lewis Simons, again, you know, it's great to see you writing an original song. And I guess one of the important things about writing songs, writing music, is actually having, you know, subject or a core focus. It's like a story, it's like a film basically, and obviously you're writing about, you know, young love in that sense. So with that in mind, I would love to have seen a bit more connection, you know, and felt a bit more connected to the song, because whilst overall I felt like it was good, you know, and you had great framing in terms of the performance, I think there were some elements where you could have had a bit more of a connection just in terms of what you were trying to convey in terms of the message of the song. And I guess that's going to come as you write more music. So again, as Chris said as well, just keep writing loads and keep developing that skill.
Thank you, Leon. Well, it seems we're all rooting for Lewis, but our next performer is Mia.
Tell me something, girl. Are you happy in small doing? Or do you need more? Is there something else you're searching for? I'm falling. In all the good times I find myself longing for change. And in the bad times I feel myself. Tell me something, boy. Are you tired trying to
Our next performer is Rye Williams.
Couple days with a snap streak is all gone to waste. Left unopened or delivered again. Guess you just wanted space. You stopped liking my pictures, but you viewed everyone. Forward on the screenshots, you think it's fun. I'm feeling insecure now, doubting myself. Is it me, is it you, or is it someone else? It's not worth the stress. It's not worth the stress. Who's on your friend?
Here is Nishi.
You book the night train for a reason, so you can sit there in this heart. Bustling crowds or silent sleepers, you're not sure which is worse. 'Cause I dropped your hand while dancing, left you out there standing, grass falling on the landing. Champagne problems, your mom's ring in your pocket, my picture in your wallet. Your heart was glass, I dropped it. Champagne problems. Champagne problems.
Our next performer is Richie.
Animal and a face straight out of magazine. She was halfway between a villain and a beauty queen. Later on tonight, I'll leave you dusted. You're halfway between a fantasy and biggest fear. You know I'm all to you. I know how much you like that. I say I love you, but I don't. There's just so much space between us two. I don't wanna hold you in my arms. I don't want you going out to dance with me. And after all is said and done, I think you need to get over it. Don't reach for.
Our last under 18 performer is Victoria.
They say, oh my God, I see the way you shine. Take your hand, my dear, and place them both in mine. You know you stopped me dead when I was passing by. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time. Ooh, I see you every time. And oh my, I like your stuff. You make me wanna cry. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time. So I say, dance to me, dance to me, dance to me, oh. I've never seen.
Well, that set featured one of our youngest competitors in open mic so far. Let's see what the judges think, starting with Julie.
Oh my goodness me, this is going to be such a toughie because I think we've seen some of the best vocals throughout much of the competition just in this unders group. And I would say if it was the sister competition Teen Star, we would literally be pulling our hair out as to who we were going to pick. But I think it's probably safe to say that no matter how brilliant some of the vocalists have been in this section, we're probably going to go more towards the ones that have brought us originality. So that means it's really, really important when you watch this show, if you are disappointed, get voting so that you've got another chance for the next round. We had one priority act in that section, Nishi. Beautiful, beautiful voice, gorgeous tone to your voice, lovely demeanour, just a really nice delivery quite an original delivery of a Taylor Swift song. But just getting back to the point that I was making, although your voice is really, really pretty and there's definitely something, I think I personally would be looking for just an extra edge, something that really made me think, oh, wow, she's done something so different with that song. I'm actually going to download it. I'm actually going to watch out for it next time. And I just don't think it was enough, Nishi. But I do see potential there. So I think really work on finding out who you are, who you want to be as an artist, and really start displaying what that, and we've said this before, what that USP is that's going to make you stand out from somebody else who is going to do, another original cover. But, I don't want to detract from what a lovely performance it was, but we needed you to grab us through that lens. But yeah, what a tough decision we've now got.
Thank you, Julie. Leon.
Yeah, it's always amazing. It's always amazing just to see the amount of talent that exists in such young people, to be honest, So it's big shout out to Victoria, that was amazing, exuding confidence at such a young age. But, speaking to our priority act of this segment, Nishi, again, much similar to what Julie has said, you've got a great vocal, lovely voice, cool framing, the backdrop was, minimal but effective. It wasn't distracting. You thought about all of these things, to be honest. And for me, I'd made a note that, the next step for you is really more originality, basically, writing your own music. Like, actually, who are you as an artist? Let's see a bit more of your identity. And, whether that's going to be conveyed in writing original songs or performing covers in a distinctively original way that's resonates with who you are, or it could be in terms of your presentation. What is it about you, your identity, that we should be buying into, to be honest? So I can't really fault you on too many other areas apart from just that uniqueness about who you are, basically. So that's just definitely something you need to take on board and think about going ahead.
Thank you, Leon. Chris.
Yeah, vocally, what a group that was vocally. But you know, as has already been said before, you know, we're marking it on lots of different aspects, and one of those, and the whole point of the competition is to be original, finding your sound as an artist, and that's the main thing that you can say. Anisha, you know, really enjoyed your vocal, it had a nice tone, but I think you need to be dare to be different. You need to be putting a stamp on who you are as an artist and really kind of going for it. And sometimes you might fail with that. Sometimes you might horribly get that wrong, and finding out what you are as an artist is just as important as finding that journey of who you are. And the other thing, as I was listening to it, is it all just felt on a very same level, and there was no emphasis, there was no holding back to, you know, to give greater emphasis to other parts of the song. So certainly work on the dynamics as well. So those two things are resonating for me, because you've got lots of potential, but yeah, originality and dynamics. And you can look those up on the Open Mic website. Loads of good articles on those if you just search for dynamics and originality.
Thank you, Chris. Well, that concludes our under 18 for this show. It's time to move on to the overs, starting with Elise.
No matter how hard I try, I keep pushing me aside, and I can't break through. There's no talking to you. It's so sad that you're leaving. It takes time to believe it. And after all is said and done, you're gonna be the lonely one. Oh, do you believe in life after love? I can feel something inside me say, but I really don't think I'm strong enough now. Do you believe in life after love?
Next up, we have Emily Wyndham.
Waited till I saw the sun. I don't know why I didn't come. Left you by the house of fun. I don't know why I didn't come. I don't know why I didn't come. When I saw the break of day, I wish that I could fly away. Instead of kneeling in the sand, catching teardrops in my hand, my heart is drenched in wine. But you will be on my mind forever. Out across the and the sea.
Here is Eric Walker.
My face is scarred and the mirror shattered before me. Appearances are unimportant, unlike integrity. When the colors fade to black and white, some things remain crystal clear and hold me tight. I will have my morals and I will have my vice. Hold my breath until I find the view is clear. I hold my breath, I will not be scared. Hold my breath, I won't let it go.
Our next performer is called Father's Medicine.
We find ourselves in troubled waters, the kind we never thought we'd swim again. We save ourselves for our sons and daughters. They hear us call when no one's listening.
Next up, we have Fiona.
You heard me 1, 2, 3 many times. Probably told me 100,000 lies. You locked me up and lived in disguise, but you didn't do nothing to keep me alive. West 44, room A05, $50 whiskey and red wine. A year in the making of all this time, just like we did 1, 2, 3 many times.
Here is Hairspray Queen.
You torture yourself, can't leave him on the shelf. He's your very own garden of Eden. You separate things, you love him or hate him. He makes you feel all of the feelings. He pulls you in with everything he does when it comes to love. The things she shouldn't, other things she does. She should go home, but she doesn't budge. Is it worth the pain? If anything's worth it, it's this. Is there something to gain? Occasional moments of bliss. You're crazy like me. Yeah, you make me feel sane. And yet there's nobody who can make me this insane.
Next up is Steina Helberg.
Future uncertain, the storm will pass. Eliminate worries, pick up broken glass. Clock keeps on ticking, running out of time. Will someone come give me peace of mind? No need to hide under the trees for too long, for too long. No need to run away from dreams for too long, for too long. Take me there, somewhere with no trouble. Take me there, let me float away. Fading memories from the past, bring back the excitement.
An eclectic group as always with our over 18s. Let's see what our judges have to say, starting with Leon.
Yes, definitely eclectic. You know, as you said. To be honest, I'll just go straight into priority act of that group. Stina Helberg. Forgive the pronunciation, but yeah, I think on the surface, you know, on paper, you look like a great artist. You know, framing's great, backdrop's great, playing an instrument, you look good. There is a look there, and you know, you've got a voice. But I just felt like there was something. It was like a car that needed the engine, the ignition just to be started. It needed something just to kind of let us know that you were there. That definitely need more presence, more oomph. I'm not too sure what the song was about. So I think just think about, you know, overall performance. You thought about all of the other aspects apart from just the actual delivery of what you're performing. And that's something that you should definitely take on board going ahead.
Thank you, Leon. Chris.
Whoa. So I really liked Stina. I hope I've said that right. I thought that was a real magical performance, but I do also understand what Leon is saying as well, and that is that you know, you're one of those artists that could come on stage and you'd hear a pin drop and you would capture everybody and you would hold their attention, or you may just miss that in the first 5 seconds and everyone starts chatting away and you're just not recognised and no one will remember you from that performance. So I would take on board maybe a little bit of what I'm saying, a little bit of what Leon's saying, and just sharpen up your dynamics a little bit more to give it a little bit more commitment and vary it about and really punch us, wake us up a little bit early, take us down again. And I think if you could just do that, because you'd be a really interesting artist to see live, because if you can, you may be able to do that live already, but that's a real art if you can do that. But I see lots of potential there. Another shout out is to Eric Walker. Love Eric, he's a great guy, local to where we are in Southampton, and comes to the studio. And with a lot of this group as well, just felt like it just took too long to get going. I mean, Eric's come on so much in the last 2-3 years, but give us that punch straight away, Eric. Let's capture that, get us that hook of the song straight away. You're not the only one in this group to have done that, and because I know you've got the potential, I've heard it. So just a word out for you.
Thank you, Chris. Julie.
Well, you certainly couldn't say that we have just the same old on this show. Always in this competition, just always something really, really surprising. For our priority act, Stina. So, if I'm completely honest, I'm very, very disappointed with that performance, because my expectations were really high from your framing, the way you were standing, the guitar, just, you know, you really had got that so right. Original song. The original song was definitely, it was kind of full of intrigue and mystery, but it was just so far set into the background. I just, like Leon, I I wasn't getting the hook, what the actual song meant, which was so it was such a shame. So we just need, you had the electric guitar there, which we actually had somebody else do this with quite a sultry song a couple of shows ago. And it kind of is a little bit of a contradiction, because you had such a sultry, quiet song, you had the guitar there, and I just think the two needed to meet somewhere. And I think, it was definitely the vocal. So we need that intent, we need to understand what you're saying. We needed more volume in the vocal, unless you wanted to go more for that kind of intrigue and mystery, in which case, set much closer into your face and maybe without the guitar. But either way, there was something that just didn't quite connect. And for me, it's the vocal. The vocal, there's definitely a vocal there, but it was just too quiet. It was like you had a force field surrounding it. So potential, definite potential, but that it's got to be ramped up. It's got to be ramped up if you made it through to the next round.
Thank you, Julie. Our next performer is Izzy.
There are people who are meant to be in our lives, and there are those who are episodes fading. Those who are light in our dark, the candle burns out eventually. Some come running back and some escape and run away. Accepting it is hard, but we got friends, family, love, and that's something our lovers can't take from us. Because relationships can be nightmares disguised as daydreams. Ours was a dream come true. It was all because I loved you. Did you love me too? I would do anything to make you happy. If that means stepping back, I could. Please don't shut me out completely. I can't take this pain for good. I'm messed up and heartbroken. Baby, please understand.
Our next performer is Kelly Pepper.
No woman should cry. No woman should cry. No woman should cry. No woman should cry. When I look in the mirror, I smile and I smile. I'm on top of the world. When I walk out that door, nothing's gonna stop me. You sweep me off my feet. Never felt so
here is Katie Bates.
Stories you used to tell about your broken mother who went through hell. She would smoke at the kitchen table while the maids cleared away chopped up remnants of that day. I like the stories you used to sing about your drunken father who fixed everything. He would come home every day in a done-up suit and tie, another ring for your mother to apologize before you go. I want to know.
Our next performer is Keats.
Did I ever really know you? Do we ever know ourselves? We played your game for years and years till you put me on the second-hand shelf. Well, I got to feel your heartbeat. It's not much but more than skin deep. You float on an ocean of secrets. I was the green grass beneath. And I never felt like...
Thank you to that set of singers. Let's start off with Chris.
Yeah, Kelly, started off okay. Let's see what Kelly's going to do. And as soon as you started singing, it's almost like something clicked in your head, and your expression became really kind of quite harsh looking. And there was a real lack of synergy between the message of the song and your facial expressions. And it was a little bit confusing. And so I think you just need to relax and just lighten up with it and just embrace the message of the song and look at what you're trying to convey. Look at what the message of the song is and act it out. Find the lightness, find a bit of happiness in there. It seemed to me that it was all just a bit too harsh and forced. So really look to work on that, because I was hearing one thing and seeing another, and it slightly confused me. So I'd look to work on that.
Thank you, Chris. Julie.
Yeah, I'm going to dive straight into Kelly. We had some lovely originals there, actually. So the image certainly didn't portray what we heard, because what we heard was kind of quite a lot of kind of angst and power, and yet there was like a yellow hoodie and so on. So I think, given how much attack you put into the performance, that image and that staging definitely needed to meet. In terms of just going on the vocals, so yes, there's definite power there, but I think what Chris was saying was some of the facial expressions were kind of a bit fraught, and I think some of that was about how much attack you were actually putting into the vocal to maybe reach those notes. So what I was seeing was a lot of kind of tongue kind of not quite getting around the diction. So I think what we did lose was a lot of the lyrics, because that you were putting so much emphasis into trying to reach with power. So a few things to look at vocally that I would definitely suggest. I think your voice is worth investing in somebody to help you with it if you're not doing that already. But also, because you clearly are seeing yourself as an artist, you're putting yourself out there, that image and the whole style and the performance has to all make sense together.
Thank you, Julie and Leon.
Yes. just in agreement, to be honest. I'm going to go straight into my priority at Kelly Pepper. Top marks on the name. It's really cool name, expecting something spicy, fiery, and definitely, like Chris said, you've got a great look, colors, all contrasting and working with the backdrop and everything as well. But then when you started, it was just quite abrasive, to be honest. It's very loud, just that, top notch, like 0 to 100, and it just stayed there. There was no kind of, I guess, flow of the actual performance in itself, to be honest. It's definitely something to work on, just in terms of how much energy you're delivering, and as the song progresses, just a bit more dynamism, I guess, in your performance, so that it flows a bit more smoothly.
Thank you, Leon. We're on to our last set of performers, starting with Drawn Tide featuring Ben Hunter.
Dancing in the rain again, here I stand alone, heart imploding, leaves exploding now. Autumn leaves producing the sound, spinning through from green, blue to brown. Never thought that I would be leaving here alone. I'm just an outcast from your life, just an outcast from your life, watching you all through these window panes.
Next up, we have Matthew Joseph.
May the best queen win. Common love isn't for us. We've created something phenomenal. Don't you agree? Don't you agree? You got me feeling diamond rich. Nothing on this planet compares to it. Don't you agree? Don't you agree? Who needs to go to sleep when I got you next to me? All night, I'll ride with you. I know you got my back, and you know I got you. So come on, come on, come on. Let's get physical. Lights out, follow the noise. Baby, keep on dancing like you ain't got a choice. Come on, come on, come on. Let's get physical.
Here is Nicola Minardi.
Così vai via, non lo so se è colpa mia, non c'è poesia, c'è uno spazio vuoto dentro, è casa mia, solitudine di una malattia che è mia, mia, mia. Con te ho nascosto le mie lacrime. Con te perché adesso ci sta un altro con te.
Give it up for Shelby.
Jigsaw pieces fitting together like our bones meant for each other. With seaside kisses and seashell smiles, oceans blue and endless skies. And we could stay here all day and watch the waves as they swim away. You are all I need, to survive. We see sight kisses and seashell smiles.
Here is Sophie Clark.
Quando sono solo sogno resante mancan le parole. Sì, lo so che non c'è luce in una stanza quando manca il sole. Se non ci sei tu con me. Sulle finestre mostra a tutti il mio cuore che hai acceso. Chiudi dentro me la luce che hai incontrato per strada. Time to...
Our next performer is Tia Collard.
Across the floor in the Sunflower Cafe was a girl so gorgeous all alone on a Saturday. My heart is warming in a new type of way. But when you smiled at me, you drove me insane. And I have never loved a girl before, but I know you're something I need to explore. Oh, Sydney, what's your story? You intrigue me, I need to know more. Oh, Sydney, what's your story? You enchant me, I need to know more.
Our last performer of the night is TJB.
I stumbled on your words that made me feel so very clear. I lost track of time, but with my head up in the sky. But now I see and I feel what's underneath. Oh, what is worth is all so heavenly. It's a roll of the dice and a roll of the ice from you. They can say what they like, but honey, it's their point of view. As we stand between
Well, quite the end to show 16. We had some groups, some Italian, some visual effects. It's just a mixed bag here at Open Mic. Julie, what did you think of our parody act?
I actually don't think I can cope. In fact, we better not have many audition shows left because it is getting too much. We are just, I mean, literally, we are the epitome of diverse with these entrants. I mean, in a good way, in a really good way. So I hope, I think this has been a really entertaining show. So I hope the public agree. In terms of, we had our priority act, and let me just, Drawn Tide featuring Ben Hunter. So I'm not sure who Ben Hunter was, because obviously we had a lead vocalist, then we had obviously the kind of the backing vocalists and so on. So anyway, overall, I loved the camera as it kind of moved through. It created a real live lounge feel. Then the hint of kind of gospel came in. I think it was quite interesting having a lead vocalist who was not gospel at all, so that was quite a contrast. I think the jury's out whether that completely gelled or not, but it definitely created a contrast. I think in this instance it's kind of, although I would like to see more, it is a bit difficult to judge because, you know, this is supposed to be a live video, and clearly there'd been some production going on with that. So it's tricky because, you know, trying to create a really level playing field. But I mean, overall, if that had been a live performance, I would be very much looking forward to seeing what else you've got. But I'm just not sure. I'm not sure that I can give you the marks that I would have if you'd gone out there and you know, given us what we would have seen in a theatre. So let's see what the others think.
Thank you, Julie. Leon.
Yeah, drawn tied. You know, I guess they say strength in numbers. Obviously, there was a lot of you in that group. And I liked what you were delivering. I feel like definitely some of the harmonies needed some work at certain ends, and yeah, it was an interesting contrast between, you know, the pop vocalist and then obviously the gospel choir. I'm not 100% that it blended as well, and maybe it wasn't the right song choice to help give it the actual impact, but I definitely feel like I could hear certain parts of the song where there was a little bit of conflict just in terms of harmonizing effectively vocal wise. But other than that, you know, it was a good effort from, you know, yourselves. But I guess as well, it's always good to see something a bit more distinctive, you know, especially, you know, from groups. You know, you've got so much options to play with. It would have been nice to have seen something a bit more unique and creative on this occasion.
Thank you, Leon and Chris.
Oh, I love this group. I thought this group had everything. I think we've seen Matthew in the competition before. He's always entertaining. He gives it full commitment. Maybe not everyone's cup of tea, but you can't knock him. He really goes for it. It doesn't leave anything behind. TJB, I loved the setting. I thought it was picture book fantastic. Really like that, and like the feel that you gave with that. It went well with your song. In terms of priority act, Drawn Tide, took me on a bit of a journey, if I'd be honest. To start with, I thought, oh, this is nice piano playing, and then for me, the lead vocal didn't work. It sounded a bit weak for this particular song, and then it picked up again as the group sung, and just be a bit mindful with the movement. Felt a little bit too much movement, although I liked it. It just felt it was a bit overused at times as well. There's obviously some diverse feedback for you guys, but somewhere in the mix of all that, there's some considerations. But on the whole, I liked what you did, but maybe just different song might just change it and shake it up completely, because there's obviously the potential amongst you.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, judges. It's time to find out who is moving on to the next round. We begin with our under 18s, starting with Chris.
Yeah, the under 18s are absolutely storming open mic this year. That's definitely for sure. The one aspect they just need to really just ramp up and dial up a little bit more is the originality and finding themselves, which I'm sure will come through the progression of the competition. And for me, stood out by a long way was Ray Williams. So well done, Ray.
Thank you, Chris. Julie.
So we have definitely hammered it home that originality is the key for this. But we did have a number of unders who actually did covers. So this was based on the vocal, and obviously, but the person that we feel brought the most originality to the cover that they did, and that person was Mia.
Thank you, Julie. 2 spots for Leon.
Yeah, so, you know, 2 amazing talents at young ages. First one's going through is going to be Leona May. You know, great energy, and be really good to see her live, to be honest. You know, proper musician and a lot of stuff going on. And the second one going through is going to be Lewis Simons. Again, just keep developing that songwriting ability. You've definitely got something there, and well done to both of you.
Leona and Lewis, congratulations. And Leon, who is your over 18 choice?
Yeah, my over 18 choice. Again, these guys, you know, 2 guys did a solid effort, to be honest. You know, it needs a little bit of work on their harmonies, but I felt like it was very original in terms of what they were delivering. There's some potential there further down the line. So it's going to be Father's Medicine.
Thank you, Leon. Julie.
So we've just had a little bit of judging fisticuffs over this section, because we weren't all in agreement with all of the choices. However, this one was unanimous. So congratulations to a really brilliant artist, Izzy.
Thank you, Julie, which means 2 choices for Chris.
Yippee, I get 2 for change. Super. My first one, just brilliant, breathtaking backdrop, really in tune with the song and delivery. You're going to have to find another spot for the next round though. Keep that standard up, is TJB. And the next one, which definitely was definitely a fighty fisticuffs for this one. I had to scrap the corner out of this one. So you're going to have to really dial and sharpen up your performance for the next round to prove that you can deliver what everyone said that was lacking. And that is, I hope you said it right, Stina Hellberg.
Well, there you have it. Thank you, judges. Our 8 contestants moving on. Remember, if your favorite contestant did not get chosen, you can vote for them now, and we'll see you next time at Open Mic.